Hey everybody, welcome to part 4 of the Tide and Texture Crochet Mystery Make-Along Lion Brand Summer. You know what? You know why you're here. If you don't, well, surprise! Anyway, so this is the Wheatsheaf pattern. And it is potentially my favorite. Well, no, not potentially. It is my favorite. This is my favorite pattern of the whole thing. It's also the longest portion of the wrap. So hopefully it becomes your favorite too. Because this stitch you are going to be doing for 20 inches. So this is it right here. Wheatsheaf. So here's where you just came from, and I didn't show you this in the last video because I had already done this part of the wrap, and I didn't want to accidentally have it creep into the video. So if you didn't, well, here it is now. So there you go. So now you have a better visual probably of what this was supposed to look like. So there you go. This is what I was trying to explain in the last video with your husk and your Neptune lining up with start and end. So now you can probably see that better. And you have your color flow here. So let's take it back to the beginning. We're just going to do like a quick overview from the beginning since we're all here. We had our cross double in your first color, which was arrow, and then we went into this little bit of the back loop single crochet, and we took this color into this section, a little bit of simple texture. If you're also following along with the knit version, then you will notice that this matched up with our garter stitch on that side. And then this husk color pulled us into the next section over here, where we introduced another color, Neptune. And then we're continuing flowing into Neptune, but now we have taken away husk. So now, like I said, we will continue with Neptune with a new stitch pattern for the next 20 inches. And this is going to be a 4-row repeat. And it's basically, I mean, it's kind of like it's really a 4-row repeat, but it's kind of like a 2-row repeat in the fact that it's the same thing, but it's staggered. So you'll be able to kind of get in the groove of it, I hope. And hopefully just get into the rhythm of crocheting and take it along for 20 inches. All right, I'm gonna get this out of the way and keep that visual. I don't want to keep this here because it kind of gets in the way of actually seeing the stitches. So let's push that out of the way. Now I have my swatch, and I actually haven't, the last couple times I've had the stitch already set up when I start, but this one I literally set up. I did the first 2 rows of the section, and then I stopped and I was like, you know what, let's just get going together. So you saw what it looked like. I did the very first 2 rows. Now the first 2 rows of this section you will not repeat, so I just got them out of the way. The very first row of the section is, surprise, surprise, single crochet through the back loop. So you don't even need to, you guys are like, I've done that so many times. So single crochet through the back loop. The next row is you're just setting up these, like where you're gonna do the arches, which you're not gonna have to, I mean, you will do them again, but you're just sort of establishing where you're going to do that. So that's your row 2, your wrong side row. So where your pattern repeat is going to actually be for this section is rows 3 through 6. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to flip over here, and we are going to work rows 3 through 6 together. And I have my instructions here so that, because you know, I don't trust my memory while I'm actually recording. I don't trust my memory ever at this point anymore, but definitely not while I'm telling you guys what to do. So row 3 here, we've got chain 1, and then we're gonna single crochet in the first stitch. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to skip the next stitch, which is, oh, can you guys see what I'm doing? I'm like not looking in the camera. I'm looking at my own hands. So we're gonna skip this one. Now you're gonna do, this is where so we did 1 single crochet, right? Yeah, I'm gonna lay it down. 1 single crochet, and then we're gonna skip. Okay, so now this is where the repeat is. So here you got your chains here, 5 double crochet into this chain space, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, skip a stitch. All right, so that's your repeat. 5 double crochet, skip, single crochet, skip. So right here, there's 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. So you're going 5 into here, and then you're skipping and you're going into this middle one. So you're going 5, and then you're going center, 5, center, all the way across. Then when you get to the end, to match up to this side, you're gonna go 5, and then you're skipping this one, and you're going into the last with a single crochet. Obviously you have many more on your wrap, but here, so we did the single, we're skipping that one, going 5 double crochet into this chain 3 space for our first fan. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and like I said, there's 3 here, so we're going into that center one. Back into here. Sometimes saying like all those skip and chains and everything sounds so jumbled up, and then when you actually look at it and it's like, oh, all I'm doing is going in single crochet into that center stitch right there. That makes so much sense. But when you see it written out, there's so many instructions to mean one very simple task. Just go into that center stitch. But so anyway, here we go. Trying to make like these nice huge swatches. I consider this huge. I'm probably, like most of you, not a huge fan of swatching. So my swatches are typically minuscule, which means this is like gigantic to me. But I figured, should probably want to see what it actually looks like instead of seeing like 2 repeats. But also, probably shouldn't admit that either. That's 5, right? Can't count while I'm talking. 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door. 4 and 5. Are we there yet? 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, I turned off my air conditioner because I did an entire video and listened back to it and realized that you couldn't actually really hear me all that well because our air conditioner is ancient and you just heard the whirring. So I had to turn it off, and now I think my brain is melting. So, right. So I might be going a little heat crazy. Okay, there we go. So there's our first row of our repeats. That's row 3 of your pattern right there. So row 4, we are going to flip it on over. Now, so here's something. Instructions always say turn and then chain, right? I always find that really difficult to actually do, but that's how patterns are written over. I always do the chain before I flip it over. Does anybody else do that? Even though crochet instructions are written the other way. Okay, so you do chain 3, right? Let's lay it on the ground so we can visualize it before I pick it up. Chain 3. Now we're gonna skip the first 2 stitches and single crochet in the next 3 double crochet. Okay, so you know we just did 5 here for this fan, right? So the next 3 double crochet are the middle of this fan. So that's gonna be 1, 2, 3 right there. You know how I said there's so many words to say something so simple? So that's it. You're just gonna go right here in the center. And now your repeat is going to be a chain 3, skip, and single crochet in the center again. So all you're doing is you're creating the next pass to stagger your next set of fans. So just like you had these loops created down here, now you're creating the next set for the next fan to be in between up here. So you're gonna go single, 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 and then you're gonna create your chain, and you're gonna single here, and then your chain space, single, and then your chain. There you go, you've got your chain 3 right here, and then you're skipping over to these center 3 double crochet, and you're going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and you're doing a chain 3 space. 1, 2. Did I miscount? 3. Like I said, I think I'm melting. I don't do good in heat. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then on the center 3. 1, 2, 3. This is another one that looks like it's got a lot of instructions, and I guess it kind of does, but I think after a few repeats, you will probably find that maybe even if you don't really like 100% memorize it, just glancing down at the rows before, you will remember what you did, and you won't need to be glued to your actual pattern. That was my hope with these. Okay, so here's our last. All right, now to end this one is a little different. So you have the last You have the last 3 single crochets here. So now to end this, you're going to do chain 1, half double crochet to mimic what you did at the beginning. So, which was the chain 3. So chain 1, half double crochet, you're going to over and then through all the loops on the, okay. So there you have first 2 rows of your repeat. Now we're going on to row 5. So that's a chain 3. And then because I'm me and I do that before I flip, here we go. All right, again, let's visualize here. So we've got chain 3, 2 double crochet in the first space, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next. So many words. Okay, so what all that means is we're doing 2 double crochet in the first space. So we're going here. So you're going to do like half of a fan, right? Because now these fans that we had here are staggered. So if you had one here and you have one here, well, you don't have room to have a full one here. You got to have a half, or sort of a half, because we've got 5. So we're going to do 3. So I always say this first chain isn't counting as a stitch, but rules are meant to be broken, even my own. We're kind of counting this as a stitch right here. So we're doing 2 double crochets here, because that is kind of as a stitch. I know I said I never do that, but I do. So we're going to do 2 double crochets here, all right? And then we're going to do a single crochet here. And now we're going to have our 5 double crochet into this, and then our single, our 5, our single. It's the same thing that we did here. You're just off, right? You're just in a different space. So here we go. So you've got your 2. I need more yarn. Okay, so this was your 3 single crochet, right, that you did at the top of that group of your fan. So you're gonna single up in there, and now you're going 5 double crochet into this chain space. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you've got your single into that center space here. Oh yeah, I'm like, what did I just do? Yep, that is a double crochet. Indeed, I did it correctly. 3, 4, 5. So hopefully by now I'm seeing everybody's shawls. You know, this is, obviously I'm recording this before this comes out, so I don't know, but I can't wait to see everybody up to this point, because like I said, I really love this stitch and I love these colors, and this reminds me of seashells. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting. And I just got the count from Sesame Street singing in my head. Listening to, if I knew the words better, I'd start singing. Too many too many shows with my toddler. I could start singing some things, but they're all probably, you know, copywritten, and I don't want to get this video thrown off of YouTube because I started singing the show's theme songs on a crocheting video. Anyway, not that anybody wants to hear me sing that anyway. All right, here you go. At the end of our, we only have one more row. One more row. I think that's why I called myself that, as we're always doing one more row. All right, so here we are. Can't like, where's my half double crochet from the row before? There it is. Find the space. All right, so we've come to the end. We've come to the end, my friend. And we have our last single crochet. And then to match the beginning where we did the chain 3 and the 2 double crochet, here we are doing 3 double crochet into that. Oh, I guess, I'm not even gonna go there. I forget. We're just gonna blame that one on the heat. But yes, that's what you're doing. All right. So there you go. So we've done 3 rows of your pattern repeat. So we've only got one more left to go. It's going to be another setup row for your next fan to get you back to this beginning point. Okay. So we're going to flip it back around. There we go. Okay. So we've got to do those. We got to get those chain spaces set back up again. So this is row 6 that we're going into. All right, so row 6 started with the chain 1, which I already did to flip myself over there. Single crochet in the first 2 double crochet. That'd be right here under my needle, under my hook. Excuse me, I'm crocheting now, not knitting. Oops. We don't like when people mess it up, right? Hook, not needle. Bad. 1, 2. Then we've got this is where your repeat starts. Chain 3, skip 3, single crochet, chain 3, did you get that from just my fingers pointing there? I feel like you should know this by like intuitively doing it at this point. So we're going single, single, and then chain 3, and then you're single crocheting in here, and then you're chaining 3. So let's just do it instead of just pointing my fingers. So you've got single crochet in the first 2 double crochet, and now here's your repeat starting. So you got chain 3, 2, 3, skip 3 stitches, single crochet in the next 3 double crochet. So you're skipping this dip down here, and you're single crocheting up here. Same thing that you did before. You should be a pro by now. We've done this. And then you're going to do that again. 3, and 1, 2, 3, and you're going to continue that all the way across until you get to the end, chain 3, and then you're going to end at the top of this turning chain with the single crochets to match this side, and that's going to be it. And then you're going to be ready to do repeat starting from row 3 again for your next set of fans for the Wheatsheaf pattern. which I'm not quite sure why it's called that. Does anybody have any idea? To me, it doesn't. I mean, unless I'm totally lost on something, does somebody else know what sheaves of wheat look like? To me, this looks like fans or something, or shells, or I don't know. Waves. I mean, not waves. Waves are something else. But anyway, here we go. Here's our last 1, 2, 3. I ran out of yarn. Okay. And then we're going to single crochet in the, ooh, I just got a breeze. Oh, that felt really good. Like I said, my brain's melting. I think this is the last video I need to do for the day, and then I gotta go like turn my air conditioner back on. So the last one is a single crochet in the top of the double crochet, and then a single crochet in the top of the turning chain. Where is it? Ta-da! And there you have it. My favorite stitch of the shawl. All right, guys. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I enjoyed making it. We are going to be well past the center of the shawl by the time this is done. Clue 2 is huge, so crochet all day, every day. Just stay cool. And I'm gonna go turn fans on and have like some lemonade or something. Get cool so I don't melt. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.